Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is enjoying their day. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Nikki furious, leaves Victor over vendetta with Jack. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest that Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, and his endless Abbott vendetta could be the final straw in his marriage to Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott. Is Nikki about to leave Victor over Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman? Get updates on the latest news about The Young and the Restless, straight to your inbox. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. What is this? Victor Newman likes to control things. Nikki has put up with a lot over the years since Victor believes he knows best. Unfortunately, Nikki is getting fed up with Victor's vendetta against the Newmans, especially Jack and by extension, Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer. Nikki is fed up with Victor trying to come between Kyle and Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, and she wants him to back off. Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, has confronted Victor about the same thing. Victor has done this to her for years, costing her a life with Cole Howard, Eddie Peck, years ago. Now Victor has made a decision that may destroy Victor and Nikki's marriage, since they certainly will not see eye to eye on anything to do with Jack. Victor Newman wants to team up with Kane Ashby. Now, to protect Newman, Victor plans to team up with Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, to go after Jack and take over Jabot. Nikki is in no way on board with this idea. What is this? Victor has already informed Nikki that Kane let him know that she almost let him have Chancellor to save Nick Newman, Josh Morrow. Victor was not okay with her not consulting him first. Victor finally gave in and said he was okay with her offering that to save their son. However, Victor laid down the law that she will not do that to save Jack because he will not stand for it. Victor hates that Jack managed to get Nikki to go to rehab when she refused to do it for him. This managed to make Jack Victor's #1 enemy. Victor Newman has no problem targeting Jabot. Jack and Victor have had issues for years. This is why Victor has no problem going after Jack. However, Jack and Nikki are very good friends, and that further infuriates Victor. Victor won't even admit that Jack saved Nikki's life. Instead, Victor says that Jack doing drugs to get Nikki to see what shape she was in was endangering her. Victor wants Nikki to stand by and watch Jack lose Jabot, and she is not about to do that. Nikki could very easily throw a wrench in things by telling Jack what Victor is up to. Victor would be furious if Nikki were to blow his plans with Kane. If Victor won't back off, Nikki and Victor could be headed for divorce court. Will Victor blow his marriage to make Jack pay for saving his wife? What is this? Come here for all things Y&R. Check back often for The Young and the Restless news, spoilers, and updates. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Nikki furious, leaves Victor over vendetta with Jack. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Victor Newman's decades-long feud with Jack Abbott is far from over, and this time the consequences could strike at the very heart of his marriage to Nikki. What began as yet another round of verbal sparring between Genoa City's two most powerful men may spiral into a devastating marital rift, with Nikki reaching her breaking point and threatening to walk away from Victor once and for all. Fans know that Nikki has tolerated a great deal from Victor over the years: his controlling behavior, his endless business schemes, and his ruthless vendettas, but the latest chapter of his obsession with crushing Jack Abbott could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. For years, Victor and Jack have waged wars in boardrooms and bedrooms, dragging their families into the conflict, leaving emotional carnage behind. This time, however, Nikki refuses to be collateral damage. She has been working tirelessly to maintain her sobriety and sense of peace, but Victor's ruthless plotting keeps dragging her into the chaos she wants no part of. The thought of her husband once again risking their stability, their family's reputation, and her own hard-fought balance sends her into a fury. The history between Victor and Jack is legendary. Their rivalry is one of the longest-running feuds in soap opera history, dating back decades to corporate takeovers, stolen loves, and bitter betrayals. Each time one man gains the upper hand, the other vows revenge. But while this feud has always fueled high-stakes drama, it has also worn down everyone in its path. Nikki knows better than anyone that Victor cannot resist striking back when he feels slighted, even if it means sacrificing personal happiness. For years, Nikki tried to stand by her husband, but at some point, the constant battles become too much. Spoilers suggest that Victor may escalate matters by targeting Jabot once again, possibly attempting to undermine Jack's leadership or sabotage the Abbott family legacy. When Nikki learns of his plotting, she feels betrayed, realizing that Victor is choosing vengeance over her pleas for peace. The cracks in their marriage widen when Nikki confronts Victor in a fiery showdown. She reminds him of all the times his vendettas have destroyed lives, including their own. She brings up painful memories of when Victor's machinations nearly cost them their family, when his manipulations left her isolated and heartbroken, and when his business wars put her sobriety in jeopardy. Victor, true to form, may dismiss her concerns, insisting that he knows best and that he's only protecting their family's interests. But this time Nikki won't back down. Instead, she tells Victor she cannot stand by and watch him spiral deeper into obsession. Spoilers tease that Nikki's fury could lead her to pack her bags and walk away from the Newman ranch, leaving Victor stunned. The idea of Nikki leaving Victor is both shocking and thrilling for longtime viewers, who know that while these two are soulmates, they are also each other's greatest weakness. Every time they find their way back to one another, the cycle begins again. But this time might be different. Nikki has grown stronger, wiser, and more determined to protect herself. With her sobriety on the line, she knows she cannot afford the constant stress of living in Victor's shadow. Her leaving could set off a domino effect in Genoa City, shaking up not only the Newman family but also the Abbott clan. If Nikki walks out, where would she go? Some spoilers suggest she may turn to Jack himself for comfort, a twist that would send Victor into a tailspin. While Nikki and Jack's romantic history is complicated, they have always shared a bond, and their renewed connection could reignite old sparks. This possibility terrifies Victor more than anything. His vendetta against Jack is rooted in a mix of rivalry, jealousy, and wounded pride, and the thought of Nikki finding solace with his greatest enemy would push him over the edge. Such a storyline could reignite a love triangle decades in the making, drawing in not just Victor and Jack but also their extended families. Meanwhile, Victor's children may weigh in on the drama. Victoria has always tried to emulate her father's ruthless streak in business, but she may side with Nikki this time, urging her mother to stand firm. Nick, ever the peacekeeper, could step in and remind Victor that his obsession is destroying the family. Adam, always caught between wanting Victor's approval and wanting independence, may use the situation to his advantage, positioning himself as the voice of reason or even attempting to take over Newman Enterprises while his father is distracted. The ripple effect of Nikki leaving Victor could send shockwaves through every corner of Genoa City. Beyond family dynamics, the storyline opens the door for new alliances. If Nikki distances herself from Victor, she may join forces with Jack to fight for peace and stability, much to Victor's horror. Imagine the power shift if Nikki, tired of Victor's manipulations, decides to back Jabot instead of Newman Enterprises. Such a betrayal would be unthinkable for Victor, fueling his rage and desperation. But for Nikki, it may be the only way to reclaim her independence and prove she is no longer under Victor's thumb. Of course, the question remains, would Nikki truly leave Victor for good, or is this just another chapter in their ongoing saga? History tells us that these two always find their way back to each other, no matter how many betrayals or heartbreaks occur. However, fans sense that this time feels different. Nikki's fury is not just about Victor's vendetta, it's about her own survival. She has fought too hard to maintain her sobriety, her dignity, and her strength to let Victor's ego drag her down again. Walking away may be the only option left. As this storyline unfolds, fans can expect explosive confrontations, emotional breakdowns, and shocking twists. Will Victor realize too late that his vendetta has cost him the love of his life? Will Nikki find new strength and perhaps new love in the arms of Jack Abbott? Or will the couple eventually reconcile, proving once again that their bond is unbreakable despite the chaos that surrounds them? The answers may not come quickly, but one thing is certain: The Young and the Restless is about to deliver one of its most dramatic marital showdowns in years. The drama between Victor and Nikki is more than just soap opera theatrics. It is a reflection of years of storytelling that has built these characters into legends. Their marriage represents the heart of the Newman dynasty, and any fracture between them has massive repercussions. Nikki's fury and potential departure mark a turning point not only for her character but for the entire canvas of Genoa City. Whether she leaves for good or returns after making her stand, fans are guaranteed a roller coaster of emotions as this storyline plays out. In the end, the question is not just whether Nikki will leave Victor, but whether Victor can ever change. Can he put aside his vendetta with Jack for the sake of his marriage, or is his obsession too deeply rooted in his soul? Spoilers hint that this battle will force both characters to confront painful truths, and the fallout may reshape the future of the Newman family forever. Victor Newman likes to control things. The Young and the Restless has never shied away from creating larger-than-life characters, but few loom as large as Victor Newman. From the moment he arrived in Genoa City decades ago, Victor has built his empire not only on business savvy but also on his relentless desire for control. Whether it's his family, his company, or even his rivals' lives, Victor thrives on being the man who holds all the strings. His controlling nature is both his greatest strength and his greatest weakness, defining nearly every storyline he touches. Fans know one thing to be true: Victor Newman likes to control things, and he will stop at nothing to maintain his grip on power. Victor's control often begins with Newman Enterprises, the crown jewel of his empire. To Victor, the company is not just a business but an extension of himself, his legacy, and his bloodline. He has spent years ensuring that only family members, whether they like it or not, become entangled in the operations of the business. Time and again, Victor has manipulated his children into positions of power, only to yank the rug out from under them when they fail to live up to his standards. Victoria, Nick, Adam, and Abby have all been pawns in his game at one time or another. For Victor, their personal desires or dreams matter little compared to his vision of what Newman Enterprises should be. He has replaced CEOs, staged hostile takeovers, and used emotional blackmail to keep control, often driving wedges between his children in the process. The scars of these battles run deep, but in Victor's mind, it is all justified because he believes he knows best. His desire for control extends far beyond the boardroom. Victor has long seen himself as the patriarch not just of his family but of Genoa City itself. He believes it is his duty to shape outcomes, to protect those he loves, even if they don't ask for his protection, and to crush anyone who dares stand in his way. This paternalistic attitude often manifests in his relationships, particularly with Nikki. Their marriage, while enduring, has been marked by Victor's constant need to orchestrate every detail of their lives. From where they live to how they handle their children, Victor's heavy hand has often left Nikki struggling for independence. Yet part of what makes their love story so compelling is Nikki's ability to stand up to him. Victor's controlling streak has also shaped his legendary rivalries. His feud with Jack Abbott is rooted not only in business competition but in Victor's need to dominate. To Victor, Jack represents defiance, a man who refuses to bow down or be manipulated. This infuriates Victor, sparking decades of clashes that have become the backbone of the show's history. From corporate espionage to personal betrayals, Victor and Jack have pushed each other to the brink countless times. And while Jack often tries to take the high road, Victor relishes the fight because it gives him yet another arena to exercise control. Every time Victor feels Jack gaining an edge, his instinct is to tighten his grip and strike back harder. It's a cycle that defines them both, but especially Victor, whose inability to relinquish control ensures the rivalry never ends. Control also plays a pivotal role in Victor's dealings with his sons. His relationship with Adam is perhaps the most glaring example. Victor has alternately embraced and rejected Adam over the years, dangling approval like a prize to be won. He has manipulated Adam's career, his love life, and even his sense of identity, all in the name of molding him into the son Victor wants. Adam, in turn, has oscillated between craving his father's validation and rebelling against his dominance. This push-pull dynamic has fueled some of the show's most dramatic storylines, from Adam's shocking betrayals to Victor's ruthless retaliation. But beneath it all lies the truth: Victor cannot stand the idea of Adam, or any of his children, operating outside his control. What makes Victor's controlling nature so fascinating is that it's not entirely villainous. Many times, his actions stem from genuine love and a desire to protect. He has saved his family countless times by orchestrating behind-the-scenes maneuvers, pulling strings that others didn't even know existed. When danger lurks, Victor often takes charge, using his power and resources to shield those he loves. But even in those moments of heroism, his need for control overshadows everything else. Rather than trusting others to make their own choices, Victor inserts himself into the narrative, believing only he can deliver the best outcome. This combination of love and control makes him one of the most complex characters in daytime television. Nikki, more than anyone, understands this duality. She has seen Victor at his most controlling, when his schemes have left her heartbroken or endangered, but she has also seen him at his most vulnerable, when his desire to protect masks his deepest fears. Time and again, Nikki has been forced to decide whether to accept Victor's controlling ways or stand her ground. Their marriage has survived infidelity, illness, addiction, and betrayal, yet the underlying issue always circles back to Victor's need to control. Spoilers suggest that Nikki may finally reach a breaking point as Victor once again meddles in Jack's life, reigniting a vendetta that puts their marriage under strain. If Nikki walks away, it would be a stunning rebuke of the control that has defined their relationship for decades. Victor's controlling streak does not exist in a vacuum. It ripples across the entire canvas of Genoa City. Ashley Abbott, for instance, has clashed with Victor numerous times when his manipulations interfered with her own career and family. Diane Jenkins, now back in Jack's life, may also find herself in Victor's crosshairs if she threatens the balance of power. Even characters like Phyllis, Sharon, and Kyle could be drawn into the fallout of Victor's machinations, because when Victor decides to pull strings, no one is immune. As fans speculate on the future, the question looms: can Victor ever let go? Can a man who has built his identity on control ever learn to trust others, to step back and allow his loved ones to make their own choices? History suggests the answer is no. Victor thrives on power, and without it, he would not be Victor Newman. Yet soaps are built on evolution, and perhaps one day the writers will craft a storyline where Victor is forced to relinquish control, whether by choice or by circumstance. Such a storyline could redefine not only Victor's character but the entire fabric of The Young and the Restless. For now, though, fans can expect more of the same: Victor manipulating behind the scenes, pulling his children into corporate wars, waging vendettas against Jack, and frustrating Nikki with his refusal to change. And while it may drive his loved ones to despair, it also guarantees high drama and compelling television. After all, Victor Newman's need for control is not just a character trait, it is the heartbeat of the show. His presence ensures that no storyline remains simple, no relationship remains untouched, and no rival remains safe. In Genoa City, control is power, and Victor Newman will never give it up without a fight. Victor Newman wants to team up with Kane Ashby. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease a shocking alliance that could change the balance of power in Genoa City forever. Victor Newman, the ruthless patriarch of the Newman family and master manipulator of corporate warfare, is rumored to have his eye on a surprising new partner, Kane Ashby. For longtime viewers, the idea of Victor teaming up with Kane seems both unexpected and tantalizing. While Victor has often surrounded himself with his family or seasoned business rivals, choosing someone like Kane could be a strategic move that catches everyone off guard. The potential alliance would not only shake up Newman Enterprises but could also send shockwaves through Chancellor Winters, the Abbott family, and the entire landscape of Genoa City. Victor Newman has built his reputation on dominance and control. For decades, he has fought to keep Newman Enterprises at the top of the corporate world, often crushing competitors without hesitation. But as time passes, Victor knows he must adapt his strategies. Aligning himself with someone like Cain Ashby could provide fresh opportunities, especially since Cain has connections that span multiple families and companies. Cain, with his history at Chancellor Industries and his ties to Jill Abbott, has knowledge, experience, and influence that could prove valuable to Victor's goals. Unlike Victor's children, who often resist or challenge him, Cain might be more open to Victor's guidance and mentorship, making him a potential ally in schemes both personal and professional. Of course, Cain is no stranger to manipulation himself. His past is filled with deception, identity swaps, scandals, and corporate drama. For years, Cain struggled to step out from the shadows of his mistakes, but he also proved himself capable of resilience and growth. Teaming up with Victor would thrust him back into the spotlight, offering him a chance to prove his worth in a high-stakes arena. The question is, would Cain truly benefit from such an alliance, or would he simply become another pawn in Victor's endless games of control? Fans know that Victor does not form partnerships without expecting loyalty and obedience. Cain may think he is entering into a mutually beneficial arrangement, but Victor almost always ensures that he comes out on top. For Nikki and the rest of the Newman family, the idea of Victor partnering with Cain could be met with skepticism and even outright hostility. Nikki, already weary of Victor's endless vendettas and business wars, may view Cain as an unnecessary complication. Victoria might see Cain as an outsider who doesn't belong in Newman family affairs, while Adam could become suspicious of Victor choosing a non-family member over him. Nick, always cautious of his father's manipulations, could also question Victor's motives. This internal Newman family conflict could fuel even more drama, forcing Victor to defend his decision and Cain to prove his loyalty under intense scrutiny. On the other side of Genoa City, Jill Abbott would undoubtedly have strong opinions about Cain aligning himself with Victor. Jill has a long, complicated history with Victor herself, filled with moments of collaboration and bitter rivalry. She may see Victor's interest in Cain as a threat to her own influence at Chancellor Winters, sparking another round of corporate battles. Lily, Cain's ex, could also have concerns about her children being dragged into Victor's orbit, especially given the Newman family's tendency to cause collateral damage. Devon and Billy might view Cain's alliance with Victor as dangerous for Chancellor Winters, fearing that Victor's involvement could destabilize their own plans. What makes this potential storyline so intriguing is the unpredictability of it all. Victor Newman likes to control people, and Cain Ashby has spent much of his life fighting to control his own narrative. Together, they could either become an unstoppable force or implode under the weight of their own ambitions. Imagine Victor guiding Cain into Newman Enterprises as a key strategist, grooming him as an outsider protege while his own children seethe with resentment. Or picture Cain acting as Victor's inside man at Chancellor Winters, funneling information and influence back to Newman Enterprises in exchange for Victor's protection and power. Either scenario could lead to explosive confrontations, corporate espionage, and shifting loyalties. Victor's vendetta with Jack Abbott could also play a key role in his interest in Cain. Jack has always been a thorn in Victor's side, and Cain, with his ties to Jill and Chancellor, could be a valuable asset in undermining Jack's influence at Jabot. Victor might see Cain as a tool to weaken Jack's alliances or to strike at the Abbott family from an unexpected angle. If Cain plays along, he could find himself caught in the middle of a Newman versus Abbott war that reignites old rivalries with devastating consequences. The personal dimension cannot be ignored either. Cain has struggled to find his footing after his marriage to Lily ended and his life became riddled with scandals. Aligning with Victor could give him a new sense of purpose, but it could also put him in the crosshairs of those who distrust Victor's motives. Cain's children, Maddie and Charlie, could become pawns in Victor's games, and Lily might step in to protect them from being dragged into Newman chaos. This could create fresh conflicts between Cain and Lily, reigniting old wounds while also offering new drama for fans who have followed their complicated history. For Victor, the allure of controlling someone like Cain is obvious. Cain is talented, ambitious, and desperate enough to make bold moves, but he is also vulnerable. Victor thrives on molding people to fit his vision, and Kane could be the perfect candidate for Victor's latest project. The alliance could start as a business arrangement but evolve into a mentor-protégé dynamic, with Victor shaping Kane's destiny in ways Kane never anticipated. But as always with Victor, loyalty comes at a price, and Kane would eventually have to decide whether he is willing to pay it. If this alliance truly forms, the ripple effects across Genoa City would be enormous. Newman Enterprises could gain a fresh edge, Chancellor Winters could find itself under siege, and Jack Abbott could be forced to retaliate in kind. Nikki and the Newman children could be drawn into family wars, Jill could launch her own counter-schemes, and Kane could either rise as a powerful new player or fall once again under the weight of his own choices. The unpredictability of Victor and Kane working together is what makes the storyline so ripe with possibility. Ultimately, this potential team-up reflects one of the central truths of The Young and the Restless. Victor Newman will always seek control, and Kane Ashby will always wrestle with his desire to prove himself. Whether this partnership leads to triumph or tragedy, it will certainly deliver the kind of high-stakes drama that fans crave. After all, in Genoa City, alliances are fragile, loyalty is tested daily, and nothing is ever as it seems. And if Victor Newman wants Kane Ashby by his side, fans can be certain that chaos, betrayal, and shocking twists are right around the corner.